So we got to Accra, and this guy was surprised that we were able to come back alive. We've been doing that kind of work for long. I've carried idols before. One man came, he said he rented the house, and then idols were in the house. So he used to see us pray every day. Then I was still in the university. He took transportation, came to where we were in the university, and came and begged us to come. And then he was giving us an orientation of the kind of darkness that is in the place. He didn't know he was wasting our time. The moment we entered into the place, I went straight to where the idol was, and I packed everything. And I'm still here till today. Now, you see, I did not do that in the flesh. And just in case, I saw that in Houston, there's one what they call it? Statue. A very tall statue in Houston. Okay, you don't know it. Okay, let's assume that we don't know it. Don't go and carry that statue. That's what I'm saying. There is an understanding that you must have. And I heard it's the second largest statue in America. Was set up in Houston. If you know the sacrifices that went down before that statue stood, you will know that the person that put the statue there wants to control the entire landscape. You will call it a monument. You will go and snap before it like this. Meanwhile, somebody is putting physical evidence in a territory and mapping his pride lands. You know, a lion needs to inform the other beasts in the jungle that he has taken possession of this area. He goes and urinates around his territory, so that when you are crawling into the place and you perceive his urine, what he's saying is, someone is here. Those kind of monuments are not set up except someone wants to map out territory. As when the melting of the fire burneth. Oh my. This is the type, this kind of fire. It can burn the thread that they used to tie the wombs of women. When someone looks at you with jealousy, I say, this one will never give birth. There is a way they use a few things from different animals to lock up the womb of a woman. So a demon begins to act like a goalkeeper. Anytime fertilization wants to take place, the demon will. But you see, when you introduce this fire, it melts things. It does damage to spiritual things. Things that don't have form in the natural are vexed by this fire. And in the presence of God, you find this fire. The second thing it says, the fire that causeth the waters to boil. There are some things that are held in a delicate balance in the realm of the spirit. These things are not supposed to be turbulent. In order for the effectiveness of the protocol to remain intact, it needs to be held in a certain balance, regulated by a certain calm. But when we introduce the presence of God, the Bible is saying it is like the fire that causes the water to boil. Something we boil. Oh, something we boil here today. See, these two dimensions of the presence of God, that which melts when it burns and that which causes to boil, is the way God makes known, manifests his name and makes himself known to his adversaries. Number two, it is the way God makes the nations to tremble at his presence. The presence of God is a mighty weapon. And the end time church is supposed to be equipped with this weapon, because we will have a lot of supernatural engagements to do. Okay, verse 3. What does it say? He said, when thou didst terrible things which we looked not for. It was not a product of their prayer. It was a product of his presence. They did not pray for it. But because his presence came, he began to perform terrible things through his presence, even though those things were not captured by the prayer of intercessors. When thou didst terrible things which we looked not for, thou comest down, and the mountains flowed down at what? At thy presence. How I wish I had. You see, we don't put our phones on. Someone was able to find my number. I don't know how the person found it. And the person sent me his testimony from this our fasting and prayer. That he has had a pain on his body for 14 years. And he was praying the prayer. I believe the person should be in one African nation. Because there is an attire we call a wrapper in Africa. You don't know it. What you know is Louis Vuitton, and you know. There's something called a wrapper. So the guy was tying a wrapper while he was praying. And then the Holy Ghost now ministered to him. Who gave you this wrapper you're tying? Then he now discovered that that wrapper came as a gift when his first child was to be dedicated. And it came from a strange place. I don't want to go into details because we're online. The moment he realized, he ran, changed, dropped the wrapper. In fact, he even went further to put fire on the wrapper. And when he accomplished the fire test on that wrapper, 14 days of pain, as if he was going paralyzed, something came out of his body. I came to tell you that you don't need to wait for 14 years. There is a fire. It makes the waters to boil. It makes it to boil. That is the confidence we have when we stand face to face with demons. I have been to a shrine before to contend with the witch doctor, but I was led by God to go contend with the witch doctor and to preach to him. And when I got there, the demons, he just finished sacrificing to the 22 altars of his people, singing those songs that you cannot find on the treble clef. Songs, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the inspiration itself is strange. He was caught up in the singing when I visited. His power that day because of the melting of the fire. The fire that caused the waters to boil. If I'm not sure that the presence of God is with me, I will not come out. Today, I will not come out. I will not come out. So when I came and you were leading prayer, I felt the sign again of that presence. So that's how I know people that God has anointed. I feel the sign of the presence that they carry. I've been to a place before they invited a guest music minister. And as the person was singing, I knew that the person was not anointed from God. Because I felt the texture of the presence with which the utterance was made. It was not the presence of God. I asked the pastor, who is this one? The pastor said, it's the leading music minister. I said, oh, okay. That church closed. Yes. That's what happens when a negative flame is released. The work has ended. You might do what you want to do to keep it alive. It has died. Elaita mise ketau abokuria mahabeli teke sosakuria mekobaminakedi avates kopemantalia amanka boria sikubrila umbamaya. A warlock had given his life to Christ, and part of the artifacts that were recovered from his secret place was a womb of a woman. So when he was asked, what do you use this one for? He said, have you ever seen thunder that struck a human being and he died? That womb is what is used to guide the thunder to the objective. Okay, that has not happened here before. You've heard about God of thunder. It's the womb of a woman that they use to guide that thunder to kill. And when they shoot it, even if you are running and it's you that they attack, even if you are in motion, you know, an arrow, a gun can miss if you are running. That thunder doesn't miss. Except you are clothed with the presence of God. That thunder, oh my God. You know, I grew up in the village, forgive me. So I've seen witchcraft raw. I've seen it raw. And because it is raw, people worship it because they have not seen anything much more than that. Oh, that will be the case until a man that has the presence of God walks into the territory. How God anointed Jesus Christ of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil. For God was with him. You need to use witchcraft to kill that woman first. Not that a woman dies, then you get her womb. No. You must be killed by your sword, and then you get the womb. You can use it to trap thunder and direct it to someone that you need. You see, at the melting of the water, of the fire, bonnet, the fire that caused the waters to boil. That is a dimension that there is no technology in the kingdom of darkness that can understand the fire that caused the waters to boil. So I was invited to South Africa, and I came like this, just like I am now, preaching the gospel. I didn't know that day, well, if you go to South Africa, you will hear there's something called Sangoma. Sangoma. That's the local name for the one that operates a priesthood of divination. The person can carry out consultations and secure the wisdom of spirits. Did I get it right? That is Sangoma. So there were a few Sangomas that were sent to that service. So as I started praying, then the fire that caused the waters to boil, it came into the congregation. And the first victims of that fire were the Sangoma people. The ushers picked them up. No, it's not done. The ushers picked them up because I dedicated the pulpit area as Jesus Clinic. That's where surgeries will take place. That's where all kinds of things will take place. So I dedicated it. So they brought this guy from the back, brought him there. The moment they brought him there, we now knew that he was pretending. Pretending that there was fire on him, so that the ushers can help transport him to the stage where the preacher was. Let's have our moment together. What the guy was not aware of was that I tried to leave my room that day. I could not. I was arrested by the Holy Ghost. It was 6 p.m. that I left that room for the first time. And I didn't know that as I came out, I was clothed with the presence. I was wearing grace, but I didn't know that. Until the guy on the pulpit tried to, then the fire that caused the waters. The fire, it causes the waters to boil. The presence just fell on him, And then the demon started leaving him. I was watching. It was a spectacle. I've not seen it that way. He fell on him like that. Meanwhile, he was coming to give me an uppercut. You know. He had prepared.